I want to do one more example of solving a system using elimination. System of 3 equations and 3 unknowns. And I'm going to label this equation 1, this equation 2, and this equation 3 just to reference them. And so remember that with elimination the idea is to add two equations together so that variables cancel. At least one variable cancels. So if you look at like equation 1 and equation 2, if I add them together I can get the x's to cancel. So let's do that. So I'll just write, if we add equation 1 plus 2, we get the x's to cancel, so no x's. Negative 3y plus a 2y is a negative y. And z minus a 5z gives me negative 4z. And 4 plus 3 gives me a 7. Alright, so there's one, so we kind of collapsed, we added those two equations together and now the x variable is gone. So we kind of want to make a, we'd like another equation without x, and so maybe the way to do that is to, I've got a negative x here and I've got a 5x here, but if I just multiply equation 2 by a 5, so let's multiply it by a 5, and I'm just going to write the result below. Negative 5x plus 10y minus minus 25 minus 25z. Minus 25z equals 15. And now let's add that to equation 3. So if we add that to equation 3, we get negative 5x plus 5x gives me, so again, what do? We added 5 times equation 2 plus equation 3. And that results in the x's canceling again. 10y minus a 13y is a negative 3y. And then negative 25z and a 13z gives me a negative 12z. And then 15 plus 8 is 23. Okay, so now we focus our attention on these two systems here, and let's try to eliminate. So let's see. Let's say I want to eliminate the y's, then I can multiply the top equation by negative 3. And so let's do that. And that means that this equation becomes 3y plus 12z equals a negative 21. And now let's add these two versions together. And watch what happens. You get 0y plus 0z equals 2. So I just get 0 equals 2. Now, is that a true statement? It's absolutely not. And so our answer is that there's no solution. There's no solution. Whenever you get a false statement like that, it means there's no solution. And just to bring this a little bit into connecting it to what you already know, you may remember that we've done, like in Algebra 2, if I ask you to solve a system, what it means is, find where the two lines intersect, right? So if I gave you, like, for instance, 2x plus 1 equals y, and 3x minus 1 equals y, right? We want to find where those two lines intersect, and whatever the point is, this isn't necessarily what it's going to look like, but whatever your graph is, when you get your answer for x and y, that's where the two lines intersect. What happens, however, when two lines are parallel? Well, that means they never intersect, right? They never intersect. So there's no solution. So that's in 2 dimensions. I want to just show you a nice picture of what's happening here when we're in 3 dimensions, when you get no solution. So each equation in 3 dimensions with x, y, and z doesn't represent a line, it represents a plane. So a plane is just, think of it as like a piece of paper that extends infinitely in all directions. So when we solve the system, we want to know where do those 3 planes intersect. And no solution would mean one of two things. One is this situation here, all the planes are parallel, so they don't intersect in a point. The other thing that could happen is each pair could intersect with each other, but they don't all intersect in one point, as in this picture here. So those are 2 ways that you can get no solution. And then, of course, you do get a solution if they all happen to intersect at one point, which it's kind of hard to visualize here, but there is, this point right here, sort of right at the corner, is where they all intersect. So that's one possibility. They also could all intersect in a line. So each of these planes, when you intersect these planes, they intersect on that line, which means they intersect on an infinite number of points. All the points on that line are the intersections. So these are just certain things that can happen. I just wanted to connect the algebra to the geometry here, just to make it a little bit more relevant to you and connect it to what you already know. So, but that is what happens when you get a system that has no solution. You get a false statement. So just be on the lookout for that.